Have you ever felt dejected, rejected, dismal, disappointed because of one reason that you were not heard? Nobody listened to you. You needed the advice, but you had nobody around you to give you the advice. My name is Alok Joshi, a student of public speaking and human behavior. And I welcome you all to this show, Alok Joshi Talk to Rock. And why I talked about all those things? Because there are people, if they don't get timely support, if they don't get timely support, they get disappointed. And at many of the times, they get depressed. And why I'm saying this? Because in today's Alok Joshi Talk to Rock show, I have this special guest who is always taking the efforts to meet such people who are facing those depressed events, who are facing disappointments in their life, and she is always ready to help these people. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me have the opportunity to invite Dr. Amita Singh on this show, Alok Joshi Talk to Rock. Dr. Amita, I welcome you on this show, Alok Joshi Talk to Rock.
Thank you so much, sir, for welcoming me and giving me a chance, to express my views. And with this, your show, I will be able to reach out to so many people who really need help and
Right.
whom I can help and, help them to, sail their boat like I have been deprived of. Thank you so much, sir.
Right. So when we had the earlier talk, you said you are very much interested in counseling people, although like it's not like the career counselor is very titled sort of things, but you do it silently and to the needy people. So
Yes.
how your journey starts? Why do you think that people need counseling and you need to figure it out that yes, they need counseling, whether they come to you for this specific purpose or not, but you need to figure it out. So how your journey starts?
Well, sir, like I had everybody has a story. So my story is that yes, I had a good childhood, but when I was in class seventh, I just lost my dad, and that was a great setback for me. So I was very much into studies and all, and since beginning, I was very much ambitious that I wanted to become so many. I had a good list also with me, but with that setback, I was not able to achieve my dreams of what all I want to become. It was a big list. Then I was totally dependent on my uncle for my studies, and since we say now the beggars are not choosers, so whatever they provided me with, whatever schooling and whatever, so I accepted it. Though I wanted something else in life, but at that time, from here, that adjustment started in my life. I've learned this word, and I've you know inculcated in my life that I have to adjust if I have to live. So I started adjusting. And due to some reasons, I got married very early, quite early. I was in my second year BA. And because of that, the whole scenario changed. I thought it would help me out to come out of that dependency, financial dependency, especially for my studies. I just wanted to, do MBA or something else. I just wanted to go abroad also. But that was again another setback for me. Then again, I've learned that word adjustment. I started adjusting again. And I had a family with so much of hardships. I pursued my degree of doctorate also. And by God's grace, I'm having a good government job. But this is all going through with my hardships also. People, try to see that, smiling face. And behind that, I was struggling and struggling. And the worst part was that I had stopped complaining and I stopped talking to people. I was just accepting and I was moving on because I thought that this is the way of life. I have to live like that. This is my destiny. So I started accepting everything. And when I sometimes used to tell about my, hardships to my friend, very close friend. And so they said, how come you're tolerating all this? How come this is not done, Amita? This is not, no, Amita, no. It's okay, fine. I am very strong and I have to continue like this. So I was so much, accustomed to all these things that I was feeling happy about it. Okay, fine. Jo bhi hota hai, hone do. But this is the way I have to live life. But this, I realized when my children, my kids, they were getting affected because of my adjustment. They were also becoming, they were becoming very fearsome. They used to fear things, and they were trying to relate their life with my life. Like, Mama, if she's, suffering or whatever she's going through, we also have to. So that time something hit my mind that, and I said, no, I have to stop here and I have to come out of it. And I can't set this example to my children. And since I'm a teacher, now I'm a principal, so I have to set an example over there also. So with this, I cannot continue. I have to adjust, but to the extent that, it is, not making me fearsome in front of everybody. And people have started sympathizing with me, which I was not liking at all. So from there, something in me, came up. And one day it happened that I talked to my mom. I never used to tell anything to her because I thought that why to trouble her? I'm a strong woman. I was always in that I am very strong. I will do anything. And then I talked to her. Then she said, move out and I'm there for you. And you can do it. Move out from all that. Just, change the scenario of your life. And the moment she said this to me, that I am with you, just move out. It changed everything. I moved out of that house. I bought a new house and started a new life with my kids. And things changed drastically. And that day I decided that now, whenever I'll see anybody in that distress, instead of telling her to adjust, I'll ask not to adjust to the extent that you're, from inside, you started feeling that you don't deserve anything. You're a deserveless person. So this is what made me. And when I took that first step, it really helped me out. And now my story, instead of people, they sympathizing me, they are getting inspired with me. And every time they're asking me, how did you do it? How did you? And I am now into it that I tell everybody that nobody was there to tell me that you can. For last 15, 20 days, I was just going through it, suffering, and I was thinking that I'm a strong person. Yes, you have to be strong, but you don't have to suffer for that. This is it.
So it's really interesting to know that the person who has accepted each and everything, and suddenly she realizes that no, I have to live my own life, and then she took a stand, and that's very important. It takes a lot of efforts and courage also to take your stand. Most of the people, they, because we are comfortable with our sufferings also, many times it happens, we are very much comfortable that yes, whatever the sufferings we are getting, because we are destined to it, we think in our mind, which you also said at one point of time, we thought that yes, I'm destined to have all those things. So now when you say that because you suffered all those things and you want to help people, so are there some incidences in your life, if not very specifics, but very common incidences, when you judged or you just observed that somebody is going through the same conditions you did and you approached these people? Are there some examples or incidences like?
Yeah, sir, there are so many examples, and every day I'm meeting some or the other, and I try to, read their mind and try to read their story. There is something like, now I am a principal of a school, it's a government school. So I am responsible for everything over there, especially the students' attendance. So when some students disappear from the class or they are not regular, I contact their parents. Since I go into a rural background, so over there they had different kind of problems. So the problem is why one of my students he was not coming to school, and one day his father forcefully brought him to school, and he was crying like anything. And though they used to love me a lot, and I'm a very loving teacher, and he was the one, he was crying like anything. Then one day I called him and I asked, what's the problem? Why are you crying? Do we beat or do what? Somebody, any student, if he's, no, I'm worried about my mom. So I said, what happened to your mom? If I'll be here, my dad will beat my mom at home. So this thing, it was a big shock for me. I went all the way with that student to his house. And I tried to talk to his mom. She was not ready to talk to me. Then after a few days, I keep on, visiting that boy's house. And one day I tried to talk when his father was not there. Then she said the whole story that yes, he used to beat me, he's a drunkard or whatever. And then I gave her my number and I told her what all she can do, what are her rights. And I told her that, listen, stop pairing from that person, because most he can do is he can kill you, and he will not do it because he is a coward himself. Because if he'll do something to you, he will be put behind the bars. So that day, that lady said, "Are you sure, ma'am?" Yes, I said, "I'm sure. You take my number, I'll call the police on your behalf if something happens." And that day, she just, I don't know what happened. After a few days, that boy was very regular, very good in studies, and said, and I asked him what happened at home. No, everything is fine, ma'am. Ab kuch nahi hota, ma'am. I'm very happy at home. Why? And then I talked to that lady. She said, I just told my husband that ma'am has come and she's in contact with me and she's given me a number, and anything you will do to me, I'll give a call to her and then you know what will happen. And that thing, because he know that he know that I can help her. So now he was fearsome of his wife. And there are so many incidences at home also. My maid, they were also. So from where I just told them only one thing, that stop, fearing from these people because they are cowards, and just believe this thing that you can bring a change. It is from within you. If you will show that courage, only then people will change. If you will not show that courage, people will continue, distressing us. They will do it. They will suppress us. They will not allow us to speak. The ones who कहते हैं ना डर के आगे जीत है, एक बार वो fear निकल जाएगा तो things will go fine. So that is the main thing. So this is what I teach them, whoever I feel, and after that, there are so many ladies who are, coming to meet me personally in school. If they have any problems, they used to come, and that mouth of word is spread in the role place that no, ma'am is there to help. If anybody is having any problem, just come and meet. So the parents, the fathers have started, saying in the meeting, ma'am, because of you, now we have to live in fear at home because of you, ma'am. I said, why to do such things, Let them also live. You can't live without your wife. Yes, so then respect them. That's it. It's a very simple thing. You instill, courage in somebody, that you just tell that stop fearing and start believing in yourself. So this is what I do. That's it. Nothing else.
Great to know that practically whatever you have taken the actions and it faced results and they were all positive and people started living their normal life. And before that, we had a talk about the midlife transition, change and crisis we can talk about. So you were saying that there are people who are not capable, and yes, there are people who are not capable to manage those changes because of the financial changes, because they could have not achieved all what they wanted to do in their life. There is children's education is still pending, but they don't have that much of financial freedom right now. Relationship problems, all those things happen. So have you come across such situations also where you figured out those people who are suffering with that transitional change and you could help them?
Yes, sir. Midlife crisis, we call that term. But as I've already told you earlier, I don't use that term midlife crisis. I say it's a change in our transition. It is a transition in ourselves, when after 40 especially, we have achieved a lot. It means 80% in our life we have achieved. We know what profession we are into, how much we can put efforts into that. Our children are settled, means mostly they are settled. We know that they will manage themselves. Then comes the time when we start thinking about ourselves. Now, what next? How we have to manage our, later years. And there's so many things in that, race of earning money and taking care of a family. There's so many things, so many passions which we have not thought about. What we are capable of, something inside us, and everybody is capable of something or the other. Like we are seeing now, like even on us, we can grow, community also, how people are coming up with their passion, different, means we all are capable. But because of that responsibilities we are having, we don't think about it. And so now I have been talking to so many of my, known friends, you can say, or colleagues. They say that now we have everything, but still we are not happy. This is a major issue today, that people are having everything, money, home, children, everything, but they are not happy. So why they are not happy, that is very difficult to know, that what is missing inside them. So this is what I talk to them. I started telling them only one thing, that start loving yourself, taking care of yourself, start pampering yourself. What all we have done with others, start doing it to yourself. In the moment you start taking care of yourself, all those passions, all those hobbies, whatever you want to do, you will get that aim of life, and you will start working on it. You will start feeling good. So this is it. So now, like after going through all this, though that is, I take it up as a very normal thing, whatever has happened to me or in my life. As I said, that destiny, it's a part of destiny. But now, instead of crying and cribbing and living in the past, I try to sort out things for my future, a good future. Whatever days or years are left, I want to give my best. As I say, I want to live the rest of my life as the best of my life. So this is what, and that is when we help others. We should come out and help, and we should talk. Main thing is this: we should talk. If we are going through something, and if we feel somebody is there who can help us out, we should come out and speak and talk. And for that, I started my podcast also for same midlife crisis, which term we use. And over there, I have mentioned step by step how I started, taking care of myself and loving myself in spite of all that I have gone through. And I have started living a good life. I started loving all the things which I had, and I'm getting all the things which I really want because of that only. And obviously, gratitude is there. We should be thankful, whatever. Instead of, we should stop cribbing and crying and complaining. We should start loving ourselves, and whatever we are having, we will notice a change, that we will feel very good about it. We'll stop comparing also. I've even gone America too, and I've left everything from here, and I have, gone to America to find a job or something, because I was not happy here. I was in that habit of comparing. But over there, I realized that how lonely people are. I came back after 1.5 months. I was not happy over there. I came back and I was so happy over here. Like now I can say after going there that yes, over here people are really loving, helpful, and we can make a good life better than over there. So this is even means I have run away from here to America also to find, happiness, that I'll be happy over there. But no, happiness is within. So we are happy when we make others happy. For that, I have started this initiative, and I call it as individual counseling. And anybody is free. And I really feel very nice to help them out in my own little ways, my own experiences, because I have gone through all the kind of pains. So I can, help them out with as much possible I can.
And for the knowledge of our viewers, Dr. Amita runs a podcast where she talks about all those things, say midlife transition changes, and then the counseling for the students. One more thing, Dr. Amita, I just wanted to ask you, because there's one segment which needs too much of counseling because they are crammed in between, I think. And this segment is about women. Women have so much of responsibility. Most of the things are expected from the women, and also they are the biggest sufferers when it comes to suffering in their families. Have you come across such women or such incidences where you were able to counsel them something, apart from like one incident you talked about your student, but separately some women where you could be of some help to them?
Like that was that incident I gave you. That is of a very lower strata of society where it's very common and people accept it. But like in upper middle class also and in middle class, people are not happy. They are again, people think that they are having that Facebook life where they are on showing themselves on vacations, and putting pictures of parties and all, but inside they are not happy, and they really have a very sad story, because the main thing is that they have everything, but still they don't have that love, respect, care, and value. Main thing is they are not valued at home. You know, most of these women, they are kept as trophy wives, and that is a great setback, for their self identity. So they feel bad about it. So there was one of my known person who lived with my neighbor, and she used to be very happy, and I used to meet her during my evening walk, and at times, she used to stop by to talk. And then slowly I come to know that she was so hollow from inside. She is always complaining and always, she was always speaking those words that कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं है, सब ऐसे ही है मैम, कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं है, बाहर से दिखता है अंदर से नहीं है. So then I realized that she was having some problems with her husband. And because she was not earning, she was dependent on her husband. So she has to, kind of beg for money. So that's why she was not able to take her stand, because obviously she's not earning. She has to ask for money. So I tried to counsel her, and then she said that, ma'am, everything is fine, but I can't speak up, because I need money to take care of my family. So this is it. And then I asked her that what she's good at. Then she said that I'm good at teaching also. I was a maths teacher when I got married, but because my husband is, at a very good post and he's quite rich, so he didn't allow me to pursue my career in that. So I just asked her to just start, teaching few students. Even I am into coaching center, so I just try to convince your husband. I don't know how her husband agreed, and he allowed her to, teach some math students. And today she's running a very good coaching center herself, because she was really capable of it, and she had a very good grip of math. And she is running a good coaching center. I don't know how come her husband is also, because she tried to change and tried to, just remove her mind from her husband. She was always after her husband. So now she is into herself, and she herself told me that, ma'am, now that everything is fine. Even I am so busy with my work that I don't have that much time to think about what he's doing and not. And I'm so happy with myself. And every day I have so much to do. And there are so many students, coming. And even my husband is happy that now you are busy and I'm also happy. So this is it. So at times we think कि नहीं होगा, but हो जाता है. So we have to try. We have to try. So this is what I told her again. I said, you can do it. Just try. Try talking to your husband. And the moment she tried, he agreed. So I said, because you didn't try, that's why he was not agreeing. So sometimes misconceptions, and I don't know, I don't wanted to know what problem she was having, but must be some problem. But my aim was to bring her out. And today she is so happy, and she said that I have realized my value. I'm not begging for money. And now I take money, but I don't feel as if I'm begging. I feel very good about it. So this is it. So there are small incidents, and every day we meet. And by chance, because she talked to me, so I was able to tell her. Had she not talked to me, she must have been, living in the same trauma, and it has a very bad effect on children actually. And these women should understand. Strong hona अच्छी बात है, but suffer करना अच्छी बात नहीं है because of their strength. We should not suffer. We should be strong, but we should not. And we should learn to say no first. That's a very important thing. If you don't feel like doing something, just say no. And nobody can force you to do something, I don't think.
And I think that is one of the biggest skills, that you say no to somebody. It takes more courage than doing the things. Saying no, it takes more courage. And that's how. And for our viewers' knowledge, Dr. Amita wants to work without title. She does not want to call herself as a counselor, branded counselor, but she wants to work in the background, so that she doesn't want to give herself a different name as a counselor. But she wants to reach more and more people. And because she only accepted it, and she permitted us to generate or float her email ID and the podcast link, so that anybody who wants some help from her, So anybody can reach her through email and listening to her podcast and get the required support. So this was all about a leader without title, so a counselor without a brand, but reaching to many people.
Yes, sir. And thank you so much, sir. Because of this, I will be able to reach so many
Yes.
people. Because my two magical words, "you can help so many people to have magic in their life." So this is what I
Yes.
believe.
So, my dear friends, this was a special guest, Dr. Amita Singh, and she works because still being in a very busy job as a principal in one of the schools, and she does all this work out of her experience, out of her sufferings, because she suffered. She does not want others to suffer the same way, and that's why she have come forward to rescue people from this mental lack, from this mental suffering. You can also take her help if you think that you want some help from her, because the example she has given, people were rescued out of her advices. You can also take her help. Thank you very much, Dr. Amita, for coming on this show and enlightening me and as well as my viewers with this very much required skill and help.
It was my privilege, sir, and thank you so much for making me a part of your renowned show. Thank you so much, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today's guest was amazing. Next time, we'll be having one more guest who will be inspiring us, motivating us, and giving us lots of insight. My name is Alok Joshi. Watching you smiling over there. We'll meet again with the same smile. Thank you very much.